Today we're working with Hank. You know, Hank is an older horse and he's been in my program for quite a while. We're going to be working on communication in the round pen, using your body to direct and to communicate, drive the horse in the direction you want them to go, how fast you want them to go, and we're also going to do something really special at the very end, which is called join up. What I know about a horse is as soon as I pull them out of their pen and I put them in a halter, I know exactly what kind of mood they're going to be in and how they're going to act, especially when I put them in a round pen. I'm going to see with this horse what kind of attitude he's got, what kind of energy he's got, and how well he's listening and wanting to be in a relationship and a communication with me. So when I turn him loose, I've got my training rope halter on. I'm going to send Hank out to work by undoing my rope halter, and just for safety, I'm going to drop the rope halter off his neck. Now, Hank, I know, is one that likes to go out and roll in the sand, and so I'm going to try to keep him from rolling out in the sand. Once I drop my rope halter, I'm immediately going to send him in the direction I want him to go. I want him to track left. So even though I've still got my rope halter in my hand, oh, good boy. Okay, just for the fact that I didn't want him to roll, what I'm going to do is I'm going to exchange my rope halter for my whip. Okay, I've got my eyes still on my horse and I've got my body still facing my horse. I haven't turned my back, okay? Now, I sent him out. I moved him pretty quickly and asked him to go ahead and trot. And so what you're seeing is exactly what I asked Hank to do. All right, my body is facing him. All right, I'm going to establish what size circle I want him to do. I'm walking on about a 5-foot track between 5 and 8 feet away from the center. This also helps with dizziness, okay? Now, you're seeing a horse that's sensitive enough to pick up on my commands. And so I'm not having to follow him too close. I'm not having to use my whip, even though I've got my whip in my hand. I'm going to keep it really low because I've got a really forward horse right now, okay? Good boy. I'm going to keep him trotting, okay? Keep him focused on what I want him to do. My verbal command to trot was that cluck. All right, that's what Hank knows. Here's my circle, here's my radius. Now what you're going to notice about my position, you guys, is that my body is facing, I'm between about the middle of his rib cage, middle of his thoracic if you're going off of his spine, back towards the lumbar, and then I'm facing his hips. I'm facing the hind end of the body, and that's driving him in the direction I want him to go. Now I'm not having to do much pointing. Hank already knows that I'm tracking left, okay? Just based on where my body position is, all right? I'm gonna soften my body a little bit and lower my whip. I may not need my whip for this session because I've got such a forward horse, okay? Trot, trot. Okay, so I don't quite have the attention on the horse. I am gonna switch back to my rope halter. I'm gonna drop my whip, and I'm gonna show you guys how to work with a rope halter and a round pen when you have a horse that's a little more forward. Okay, I'm going to tie my halter in such a way where when I pick it up, I've got my tail. I don't need a whole lot of tail to make him go forward, okay? So notice I stopped walking my circle and I'm still facing my horse. My horse is just kind of cantering around me at this point. Brrr, there's the trot, good boy. So Hank is sensitive enough, good boy, where I didn't need my whip. I'm going to still point in the direction I want him to go. I've switched my aid to my rope halter. The tail is being held in the hand that's the closest to his hind end. I still have the use of my left hand tracking in this direction, okay? So now I've got the trot. I've softened my circle a little bit. This horse picks up on your energy, your intention, and exactly what you want him to do in a very soft way, okay? So I'm able to softly walk, use my rope halter instead of my whip. I'm going to ask him to canter, canter. Good boy. I'm still following him with my body. Okay, he still understands exactly what I want him to do. That's a good boy. Downward transition is an exhale. Now he did a little too much of a downward transition. He turned towards me and almost stopped. And so with my exhale, he decided instead of trotting that he was going to turn towards me. So I sent him back out, pointed in the direction I wanted him to go. Let's do that canter transition one more time. Canter. Good boy. That's a good boy. We'll do the downward transition, exhale. Trot. He still wants to stop just a little. So what I'm still communicating is trot and cluck, okay? And still directing him in the direction I want him to go. I'm gonna change direction, so watch. I'm gonna change my halter to go in my right hand, my tail to go in my left, and I'm gonna direct this horse. And I turned him in such a way when I brought my shoulder away from him to turn his body towards me versus away from me towards the fence. Okay, so when he's trotting around the round pen, that's a good boy. I've got his trot. My body position is now still facing his hip. I'm in the same position. Notice how I'm keeping up with him. I'm not having to really march or race or charge with him because I have plenty of energy in the horse. If I were to march or race towards him, look at the reaction I get from the horse, okay? Working with a horse that's a bit more sensitive, has some more training on him, notice his reaction when I sent a lot of energy his direction, okay? Hank just doesn't need that much stimulation as far as that. So I'm gonna bring him back. Good boy. That time we established the trot, okay? We didn't stop all the way. Much better, but I wanna show you that again. If you're too aggressive, you know, you're very strong and powerful just by standing here, just by using your mind, and just by directing your body and your energy in the direction you wanna go. If I use too much, notice what the horse does, okay? My movement is very slow and very connected, and I use as much as I need to. If I had a horse that was pretty lazy in here, I'd probably have to use more energy and intention. I have a horse that's pretty connected to me. And so what we're doing is we're just working together, using our body language to do what we want him to do in the round pen. Canter. That's a good boy. What a good boy. Very good. I love horses. They're amazing in motion, okay? Especially when you learn how to speak to them, whether it's verbal, but so much of what I do is just my body and my energy and what I want the horse to do and what I communicate them to do. Downward transition, exhale. Good. He still wanted to turn slightly towards me, so you saw me cue to keep him trotting. Okay, now here's the fun part. All right, good boy. I'm gonna keep him going, and then you're gonna see communication and join up. That's a good boy. I got a little bit in front of him. I turn my energy away from him, and what I'm asking him to do is come with me and work. Notice how I don't have anything on his head. Okay, he's not picking the grass, he's not picking his buddies. I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna tell him good boy and connect with him, okay? He's not picking anything but being in the relationship and in the direction with me. Now I don't mind so much what side of my body he's on. What I'm looking for is him to follow me, okay? But I'm not in front of the horse, okay? I am to the side of the horse. So wherever I go, I've worked with him and communicated with him. If I stop, if I turn, no matter which direction I go, he's connected to the body of my position. That's a good boy. Oh, what a good boy. Amazing. That's such a good boy. When you're working with horses, that's one of the most amazing things that you can do. I'm gonna go ahead and put his rope halter around his neck. Okay, and I'm just gonna turn him towards you guys. That's a good boy. A lot of people just try to get on their horse. A lot of people just throw a saddle on him and jump on, and then they wonder why, you know, either accidents happen or challenges happen. And so a lot of what we're doing in these first videos in all these series is we're doing round pen work, we're doing groundwork, we're doing things that are more important in establishing a relationship with a horse that's only going to make the relationship on the back of the horse much better. And so when you're working with a horse, your invaluable time, it's so much time should be spent in just working with your rope halter, working on the ground, working in a relationship in such a way that I know what this horse is going to do for me. It's a good boy. I know how we're going to communicate based on how he's reacting and how he's being in my space. What a good boy. And that way, once I start riding him, it makes all the difference in the world that we've already established this relationship in the round pen. Thank you.